Welcome back, Commanders, to your Alliance Briefing Friday. This is episode 7, and after a brief hiatus last week, my apologies there, we are back. And this week is a chock full week of news, YouTube videos from the community, and the blog with some of the events that are due to come up next week. So without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so firstly, there was some controversy this week within Marvel Strike Force and promo codes. We have had a couple of official promo codes, and there were some that seemed to leak out of somewhere. There were 3 codes: MSF 7, 7 and Reward 7. One of those 3 codes were actually intended to be redeemed by players. And all 3 codes included the same contents. Some players were able to work around this and were able to claim all 3 codes. Now, I think that is very, very poor language, because it's not that some players were able to work around this. Basically, they used a feature within the game, which is the claim rewards within the game on the Android function. iOS people, unfortunately, you were shit out of luck unless you used a emulator like I do, like LD Player or BlueStacks. You were able to claim all 3 of those codes. If you were just an iOS player and you don't have an emulator or anything like that, you were only able to claim the 1 code. And this is pretty big, because it was a total of 1,500 power cores. The other bits were inconsequential, but 1,500 power cores for absolutely free. I do think the wording on this is very, very wrong, though. Some players were able to work around this and able to claim all 3 codes. No players were able to work around this. This was a Scopely mistake. I do believe that they should have owned up to this. It was our mistake. We shouldn't have put these codes out. To blame the players for work that it was able to work around it by just using the player gift part in the Android side. So when you go into your settings, you can go redeem player gift, and on Android it brings up an actual function within the game itself. On iOS, it boots you to the website, the player claim part of the website, and that there you weren't able to claim on. There was only 1 code that you were able to claim. Whereas on the Android side, you were able to claim all 3 codes. So this really, I feel, needs sort of updating. The language needs updating a little bit, because it wasn't the player's fault. It was firmly a Scopely error. We have also had some huge rumors coming out of the community, and a shout out to Deadpool Joseph here for this rumor. Apparently now he's allowed to talk about it, some of it. There is a new Chaotic Storm raid that is coming out soon to replace the Orcus raid. And the Vigilante team, which we voted on for Hitmonkey, is replacing the Spider Society as the new upcoming skill team. This is going to consist of Elektra as a rework, Punisher as a rework, Daredevil as a new character, Silver Sable apparently, and the Hitmonkey that we voted for. Now, I actually don't mind this team, and I think it is actually quite an apt time for this team to be announced, because we currently have the Daredevil Born Again TV series, which has just launched this week on Disney+. So this was something that I thought would happen sometime soon. I thought this, when we had this sort of vigilante thing, I thought Daredevil would be around, but this is now sort of quote unquote officially confirming this, but we will see when the envoys actually do give us this properly. But this new Chaotic Storm raids, I've got a little bit more for you guys, and I want to just go over it again. And this is again thanks to Joseph Deadpool. Okay, so here is the I'm going to say probably first draft. And I do think this could be quite true, because I certainly know during my time as an envoy, we certainly had a raid given to us like this to look at. So apparently the first two sections we are going to go into at the start is a tech section and a mystic section. So you are going to be able to clear that with your Orcus and Night Stalkers. Then we go into a bit of a funny section. We go into the Bio Mission 2 and the Skill Missions. And this is why I'm a bit on the edge about Vigilante being the next skill raid team. Purely because Bio and Mutant are far, far older than the Spider Society. So do I think you are going to need the Spider Society to get through the skill section? Oh, sorry, the Vigilantes to get through the skill section to start off with? If they are the skill raid team, I probably don't think so, because I think unless they put something on the nodes, and we won't know until we see that in the data mines, if they put something on the nodes that specifically counters Spider Society, then yes, you will need the Vigilantes. But my big worry here is the bio. So we have the bio on the top node, or the top row. We've got the bio, then Mystic, then Skill, then Mutant right at the end. So that section is probably going to be fairly uncompletable by most people. We then have the Mutant Biotech section, and in all honesty, I think that Mutant section is probably going to be really hard, and the Bio section even more harder, because unfortunately, the Hive Mind team, even if you include Super Scroll in this mix, and this isn't saying whether there are mythics allowed or no, but the Hive Mind team, even with Super Scroll in the mix, are completely reliant on that speed mechanic that they get for knocking people down low. And if the enemies are big enough, you are going to have a very, very big hive mind, in my opinion, to be able to clear through these nodes. So obviously don't want to cause any alarm at the moment. This is what's been put out there at the moment by this Joseph Stroke Deadpool. So again, many thanks to him for putting this information out for the community. We will wait and see whether this comes to fruition or no. So last week and this week, there were a ton of brilliant MSF videos available on YouTube, and I just want to highlight a few of them. Again, going back over some of last week's ones, even though you might have seen them, some of them you might have missed. And the first thing I want to highlight is the strike spot that came out last week. This one here was a very good video from the Marvel Strike Force team. It had Pathfinder having interviews with Ryan Jacobson, which is the general manager of Marvel Strike Force. We had Laurie, who is the envoy, basically the person who oversees the envoys. And we had Strike Fox, who is the other community manager other than Pathfinder. The Ryan Jacobson interview was very, 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 very good. If you guys didn't see this, Annihilus is going to be our next big bad chase character that we're going to be after Xavier. So we're going to be going into an Age of Annihilus sort of thing. So that is really cool. There is a new game mode coming, which I'm quite excited about, because more content in Marvel Strike Force is desperately needed, especially if it is PvE content, which this sounded like it was. It is a new game mode due for Q1, Q2 of 2025, which is really, really quite something. So we'll see what happens with that new game mode. It is a roguelike game mode. Now, there are plenty of things out there about the roguelike, but what it seems to be is almost like a level crawl where when you die and you've got to start all the way from the start again. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what you think this mode could be. He's also mentioned about a new seasonal framework, which is going to be beneficial for all player types. We will obviously see if that comes to fruition as well. And the next battle world is a hero fight, which is going to be going to have the big good at the end of it. Someone to do with the MCU that is coming out this year. Wonder who that could be. Next up, I want to cover some new player content, and a massive shout out to my brother Gideon XL. Dude is smashing this at the moment. Here he goes over his month 2 of his free-to-play new player account. He is an endgame player, but he starts a new account every single year just to see what the experience is like for the new players, for the new player experience. And this video has a lot of really good insights into it, especially in his second month of playing the game free to play as the new player. And another new player to this scene is Nooch Too Good. Now this guy is brilliant. He is the Star Wars dad. He plays Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And what was really quite refreshing about this was the fact that he has started this new Marvel Strike Force account. He's going to be free to play, but unlike normal, this is not a sponsorship deal. So he says, this is not a sponsorship deal, which is really cool. I watched the stream that he did, his kickoff stream for day 1. That was amazing, and this content is just as good as well. So if you are a new player and you want someone to follow along with, I'd recommend Nooch as well. Next up, we have the Destroyer of Words, the Boomer himself, Mobile Gamer. And we've actually got 2 videos for him this week. One was last week, one was a video this week. So this was his last week video. It was the top 10 best teams in Marvel Strike Force. And if you want to know what the top 10 best teams are, then I'd follow Mobile's advice. And this week, he goes for the top 5 best characters in Marvel Strike Force. If you have any idea what those 5 characters are without watching the video, then leave a comment down below. Next up, we have Dorky Dad, and I know these videos are always asked for, and this is a very good video. The best Dark Dimension teams for March 2025. Dorky, I found this an amazing video, buddy. Keep churning these out. They were awesome. Go take a look at this content. And now we are going to look at 3 videos that are discussing the future of Marvel Strike Force in different ways. So let's check these out. First up, we have Desir discussing the future of Cosmic Crucible and the impact that he feels that the Starjammers and Null are going to have on the following seasons of Cosmic Crucible. He predicts, spoiler alert, that it is going to be a more defensive meta where Cosmic Crucible is concerned. But go and check this video out and then come back and leave a comment down below as to what you think the future of Cosmic Crucible is going to be with the new meta. And another future video, and this was probably the best of the ones that were done, was Dorky Dad's What's Next for Battle World. And he does go over this quite realistically, saying that he doesn't think that there is going to be any changes to the current iteration of Battle World. It kind of is what it is. And I feel that too. They've put a lot of resources into Battle World, and they're probably not going to put much more into it, especially when they have announced that the second Battle World is on the way. But what Dorky does do in this video is he does go over some of his hopes and thoughts for the upcoming, or for the next iteration of Battle World, what he feels they could do better. So go and check this out and see whether you agree with him or not. And the final one today, looking at the future, is Gideon XL and his Forced Conversation podcast. And this time he asked the question, will Professor X save Marvel Strike Force? Now, this is about a half-hour, 45-minute video. Well worth watching. Asks some really good questions. He had some, although a few people in the comments of his stream, he did have some really good discussional points about whether Professor X will save Marvel Strike Force or no. And if you want to know the answer to that, you're going to have to go over and check his video out. And as per usual, links to all those videos will be in the description down below. Please, please do go check these guys out. If you haven't already, hit the like on their videos, subscribe to their channels. It helps them create more content for you, and more content in the Marvel Strike Force community is exactly what we need. Speaking of more content, if you've got any Marvel Strike Force creators that you watch that I don't cover here, please do leave their stuff down in the description below, or down in the comments below, should I say, and I will check them out. I really do want to see more and more Marvel Strike Force content. And now we are going to take a look at the weekly blog, Sweet Summer's Child. Yeah, it is all to do with Havoc. So let's take a look at the battle plan quickly. So March the 10th, which is Monday at 1 PM PST, there is the Hercules Battle Pass going live. Don't forget, this will have those brooches for Lilandra, which are very important to get her red stars. We have a Panda Pool Blitz for those of you who are newer players who haven't got him maxed out yet. A Hero's Voyage is an event that is very, very interesting. Seventh Voyage is the standard solo event for the week. Basically another real nice, easy event. 7-Year Bash, again, is the web milestone. Very, very nice event. Shadow King rerun. Yes, for all of you who are missing Shadow King or don't have him at 7 yellow stars yet, now is your chance to get him again. And for those of us that have already got him, it's going to be some extra gold and some extra crimson gear. And that might be important with the announcement down below in the blog. Thursday, March the 13th, we are going to have Havoc become available. And I believe the Sentinel Earth campaign, I don't know, I think that should have been on the Monday the 10th, but we will see later on down in the blog. But Havoc is going to become available for not only offers, but the 675 Power Core Orb offer. Also, don't forget his red stars will be at an increased rate in the red star orbs. So then would be your time to pull. Little bit thing here about who is Havoc. He's the younger brother of Cyclops, Alex Summers. Discovered his mutant ability to absorb cosmic energy, and unleash devastating plasma blasts after surviving a traumatic plane crash as a child. I'm not going to read all this. This is, you guys can go and read this. I will leave a link to the blog down below. Very important here, daylight savings. Spring is right around the corner, which means it's time to spring ahead. Yes, our old friend daylight savings time begins on March the 9th, which is Sunday, which means many of our events will begin 1 hour later. Now, for me, currently events would kick off at 9 o'clock in the evening here in the UK. So that means that my events are going to be going on at 10 o'clock. Not ideal. What's less ideal for me is the daily reset moving to midnight rather than 11 o'clock. That's going to really kill me. But another nice thing for our time zone here in the UK is that the arena payout will be at 5 PM rather than 4 PM. Which is going to really, really help me. And I mentioned about the Crimson gear being good in the Shadow King trial. And the reason for that is because coming soon is Gear Tier 20. That's right, Gear Tier 20 is on the way to inject a boost of power into your characters, adding more oomph to your attacks. This next level of gear will play an important role in the battles ahead. We'll have all the juicy details in a couple of upcoming blogs that we have planned in the coming weeks. In the meantime, be sure to check out the Hero's Journey event below for your first chance to get your hands on some Gear 20 pieces. Now, important role in the battles ahead, I can probably tell you what that's going to be, which is it is going to be for Professor X. Simply put, we've got the next chapter of the 7 Years, 1 Legacy, which is chapter 2. This, you're going to join Dr. Doom and the Shield Medic in finding more data from the Sentinels that might help locate Nick Fury. The requirements on this are going to be easy. None. Normal is city and heroic is kestrel and 1 to 4 city characters. That is going to begin on March the 10th. So there you go. So up top in the battle plan section was slightly wrong. So March the 10th is going to be the time when this kicks off. If it's anything like last time, it will be auto content. So not a problem there. The war season is going back to 3 wars a week. Yay! I'm so happy with that. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about war going back to 3 weeks. But for me, that is a joy to hear. I love war. My alliance kind of likes war. So, yeah, very good. Friday free claim is 500 origin coins and 5 patriot shards, but you should have claimed that already. And then we go into the 7th anniversary event. We have the 7th Voyage event, which I will cover on Monday when this goes live. But basically, this is going to give you the following. It's going to give you the Jean Grey 7th anniversary costume. There is some Jean Grey shards in here as well, so that's going to be very nice. And to do this, you are going to need to collect the 7th Voyage milestone points by completing all daily objectives. It is not completing all daily objectives. It is the daily objectives complete objective that you need to complete. So there are the optional ones that you do not have to complete. It is 20,000 points usually per day. So that is 140. One thing you might want to do, if possible, is on Sunday when your reset happens, do your dailies and hold that until the Monday when the event goes live. So you'll be a day ahead of it. Play battles with city characters, 400 points there per character, 75,000. That equates to about 3 full blitz rotations, which you should get in within this week. And then play blitz with shield medic at 7 yellow stars for 30,000 points, which you should have or would get from this event just from the first milestone hero of 500 points. There are your 7th year tokens, some experience, a 3 diamond shield medic if you really, really want that shield medic at 3 diamonds. There is some gold and other L4 training modules, etc. here. So nothing really to write home about, but we will go over this in more detail on Monday. So next up, we have the 7-year bash. This is the web milestone, and this one here is fairly simple as well. So same as this week just gone. We've got the 7th year tokens, exactly the same amount of the Jarvis orbs and the premium orbs and the L4 training modules and the ability orb fragments, all of that, all the same. And you're doing the same thing. You're spending the eventful energy, which is the 7th anniversary event energy, and the Starship energy, which is the Starjammers showcase energy. So over those 7 days, the 30,000 points, you should just be able to do that by just the standard 288 energy that comes in each and every day from the eventful energy and the Starship energy. Guardians Day is going to be next week's quick rumble, so that'll be pretty simple. You're going to use Guardian characters to do this, not a problem. This is the big one, a hero's journey. Now this, I would say, it is time to start going into serious mode here. How to score points? You're going to earn orb fragments from the ISO 8 campaign nodes. I'm telling you now, hold your campaign energy or your ISO 8 campaign energy over this week. Start hoarding it. I've been hoarding it all week, not because I knew this event was coming, but because we didn't need to spend it. So I've just spent my 400 every day and then bank the rest. So I'm going to have a nice little bit of a bonus bit going in here. Obviously, if you're not level 105 yet, that might be a different scenario to talk about. But if you are level 105, bank your ISO 8 campaign energy, definitely. We're going to take a look at the chart now, and here you will see that the battles in Cosmic Crucible, you're going to get 3,000 points per battle. We're going to go over this in more detail on Monday. But this is my other piece of advice for you guys, as well as hoarding your ISO 8 campaign energy over this weekend. You are really, if you are interested in the leaderboard in this, which has the gear tier 20 pieces in it, the mini uniques for gear tier 20, you are going to want to core for Howard the Duck and Havoc. Why do I say this? Because coring for Howard the Duck and Havoc is what is going to put you and other free-to-play players at a separate point. Those who don't core for Howard and Havoc will be lower down in the leaderboard, and it might be possible for you to get into the top 1,000 players. On Monday, I'm going to break this down a little bit better once I've had the weekend to work out all the math on it. But early views on this: just hoard your ISO 8 energy, very importantly. Secondly, if you can, core for Howard to 4 stars, core for Havoc to 4 stars. That is the end of the public service announcement. And finally, in the blog, we have the Twitch drops week 2. Now, I know there were a lot of people who were unimpressed by the Twitch drops. There is a few issues with the Twitch drops where you cannot claim them on the Twitch app. You have to claim them when on the actual Twitch website. So you can go onto your Chrome browser or something like that and go to Twitch through that. But seriously, it is a very, very simple process. All you have to do, if you haven't got a Twitch account, is to make a Twitch account with the same email that your Scopely ID is logged in with. Once you've done that, they link your accounts, your Twitch account and your Scopely account. And from that, you then will get the drops. You've got to watch a content creator for 30 minutes of 300 L3 training modules this week, an hour for 400 L3 training modules. Just to put that into perspective, that's 3.5 million golds worth of training modules. It doesn't sound like a lot, and it isn't a lot, but last week we had 7 million gold, so it's about half as much gold as they gave us last week in training modules. But 3.5 million golds worth of training modules for free isn't too bad, and all you've got to do is watch a content creator doing Marvel Strike Force content. That will go towards the Twitch drops that time, and you don't even have to watch them. You can literally put it on in the background, put it on silent, do whatever. Just have it running in another browser window if you want, if you're on your computer, and you're going to get those benefits for free. 3.5 million training modules for absolutely nothing, or 3.5 million golds worth of training modules for absolutely nothing. And so that wraps up another Alliance Briefing Friday. Hopefully this has given you all the information you and your Alliance needs to continue on next week with minimal effort. Don't forget, on Monday, I will have the events video, so come back then to check that out. If you found the content in this helpful, please do consider giving the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, Commanders, stay positive.